Hey everybody. Alright, I talked about the fun and availability that we found in our movie companies that have been expanding for over the past few years. Today I'm going to talk about something kind of similar. The streaming companies that have been expanding over the years. The streaming industry has evolved pretty good ever since, this whole, you know, I don't want to say it. It's not fun for me to say, but yeah, ever since that hit, a lot of movies and shows have been going strictly to the streaming platform. As the streaming has been expanding a lot ever since that started. It's expanded pretty well even before. So I figured that maybe I could talk about streaming today and what good comes out of it. But there's a lot of streaming services out there, so it's going to be hard for me to just go through all of them. So I'm only going to go through five. I own five streaming platforms out of the bunch. Yeah, I know that may sound low, but look, come on. You know how much I have to watch? So yeah, I have five streaming service platforms that I'm going to rank. All five of them are pretty fun. If you want to know what those five are, I'll have a link in this. Not a link. I'll you just read the description. The description will tell you what all five of the streaming platforms are. They're not going to be in order of how they're ranked. I'm just going to maybe put them in alphabetical order. So yeah. And today I'm going to be ranking all five of them based on the fun variety of films they have. I should talk about the fun variety of shows they have, but I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of watching originals. Originals from streaming services aren't my thing. It's just something that a lot of people like, but me, I just... Anyway, so we're going to be ranking all five of the streaming services I own. The description will tell you what those five are in alphabetical order. Don't worry, I won't spoil anything. And I'll just talk to you about how much I enjoy those platforms, from the amount of movies they have, sometimes the amount of shows they have, and just how overall enjoyable they are to go on. With that said, let's rank. Apple TV Plus. Okay, well, here's the thing. Apple TV Plus is a streaming service mainly focused around Apple. So if you have an iPhone or any sort of Apple product, this streaming service is meant for it. However, I'll be completely honest, I do really not like it. Why? Here's the reason. There's barely anything available. I mean, there's lots available when you think about it, but nothing available to just watch with the subscription. You have to pay for so much. It's like, I guess it's supposed to be like some sort of iTunes store for a more variety, but seriously, when you subscribe to it, you still have to pay for a lot. The only stuff you don't have to pay for are literally the originals, or about a tiny bit of films they own. That's it. And you don't get to pay for much. Every movie and show you can find says is available on Apple TV Plus is technically not, because you still have to pay for it. And I did say earlier I'm not a big fan of originals, but why? Why do you make me pay for so much? I'm already paying for this service. Can't that be enough to satisfy us? I don't know. I guess some people have grown to be okay with that, but me personally, this just doesn't seem like the right kind of streaming service to have. I don't even know why it classifies as streaming, because yeah, you have to pay for so much even though you already got the app. What's up with that? Well, why, what's up with that? Come on. Is that really something I need to think about? I don't know. Hopefully they'll learn their lesson soon and maybe get us an actual variety of stuff, but for now, the variety they do have is just not right. They gotta fix it. Come on. Now let's talk about another plus. Paramount Plus. This actually just debuted this year. Well, sort of. I say sort of because it technically didn't actually debut. There was originally a service called CBS All Access. And when that launched, it was supposed to be made for all this fun CBS stuff out there, as well as try to throw in a few Paramount films. But ever since expansion, especially with what's been going on in the world, the overall Viacom Studios decided to give it the theming more to the actual movie industry, more than just CBS. So they called it, in 2021, they rethemed the whole app and called it Paramount Plus. Now it's kind of the same variety stuff, only it's called Paramount Plus. Now you can watch more Nickelodeon, MTV, of course CBS stuff out there, knowing that this is what it is. And of course the movie variety, that's honestly not that good. I mean, I know it's mainly meant for TV shows, but if they have movies, they really gotta have movies. They kind of lower their amount of films. So really, the only films you get out there, they're all meant just to be Paramount films, but there are a ton of movies that Paramount Pictures has done, and it's yet barely a good chunk of them are on here. They feel like about, I don't know, like 10 of their best movies on Paramount Plus. Apparently, I guess it's because a lot of other services are taking them, but like, I don't know, they seem to overexpand with their films rather with their so while Paramount Plus expands more to the shows that they have and the movies that they own, so they barely leave out enough. They just throw in as many movies as I think is necessary. I mean, and of course they're trying to do what every movie company's doing this year, and having some of their films that are supposed to release in theaters either go straight to the service or just be stimulously released on the service and in theaters. Something that Paramount Plus is trying to do. I don't know. Either way, this service kind of just needs to expand with their movie industry a tad bit, just a tad. It's still doing fine. Just just a little upgrade. Just try to add more movies. Netflix. If there's one streaming company we all seem to think of when it comes to the overall streaming name, it's Netflix. This has always been considered the number one streaming service in the world. But is it really though? I mean, I get it. Netflix is the first one out of the bunch. I mean, I understand that, but like, I don't know. I don't really think it's the number one best streaming service of all time. It's the most popular one, but I don't really know why. I mean, like with Paramount Plus, Netflix seems to try and see how many shows they can make more than what they can add. Because I think ever since what hit, a lot of movies from other companies that were gonna get a theatrical release just went straight to stuff like Netflix. So they call them Netflix originals. But yet, I think there are way too many Netflix originals out there because of the lack of actual other stuff that they can own to have on the service nowadays. Nowadays, I feel like there's just way too many originals, but all the other stuff that they got, like this older stuff that's not owned by Netflix, just isn't enough. And like, we're mostly just gonna be focusing on the originals than the actual movies or shows they add. I mean, I can find a good movie or show out there that they added, but overall, they're just expanding too much with the originals. They're good. I mean, I guess some of the originals are good. Just, something Netflix has always been up to. So I'm glad Netflix is expanding with these originals and just, I don't know, maybe try and see how many more movies and shows you can add. Maybe just a bit more, I know there's other services taking over, but you can't do that. You can't let them do that. You're the most popular streaming company out there. Well, why are you gonna let someone who's not as popular just do that? You gotta think better. Add more stuff. Try to satisfy people with some of the older stuff rather than trying to give them some of your new stuff. I mean, we can like your new stuff, but maybe some of the old stuff too. I don't know. Netflix is good. It's definitely fine. I mean, it's just compared to how I used to remember it as. I think it's kind of leaving the box open for what more could come. Hulu. Oh, Hulu. Hulu is what many consider to be one of the few other most popular streaming services. Hulu is known for a good amount of things. Live TV and, of course, streaming. Streaming is what I can consider it for. Because, yeah, I love Hulu. Hulu is mainly meant to try and throw in a good chunk of movies and shows out there that have been created for either a more adult audience or created since not a lot of other streaming companies like to give in to have them. So that's what Hulu does. It gives us actual content. It's not all about originals. It's about anything. In fact, I'll be honest, the amount of originals they have is kind of low compared to the amount of other owned older content they own. And I'm glad because I do prefer seeing all their older content on there than just all this new stuff that they're making. I mean, they're just trying to throw in as much fun stuff we all remember watching in us. So Hulu definitely does a better job at that, because I appreciate what Hulu does. Only I think maybe Hulu could, try and keep a little bit on a bigger watch, because eventually I'm starting to run out of stuff to watch on there, and eventually Hulu's going to try and see if they can find anything else. But their variety of shows is great. Their variety of movies is good. Their variety of originals is lacking, but that's, in my opinion, a good thing, because I don't really see much for originals. I'm just seeing for all this other good stuff. So good job, Hulu. You're giving us content. Actual quality content that we need to watch. Prime Video is my favorite one out of all what I've got. As crazy as that sounds, yes, it's true. I love Prime Video the best. Why? Because it just has a better content of anything. It has the best percentage of anything. The best percentage of originals, best percentage of shows and movies. Anytime there's a movie out there I'm thinking I really gotta see, Prime just knows what I want and gives me movies that I want. Because anytime there's something I want to watch, or just randomly comes to my mind, Prime Video delivers. Okay, not all the time, but most of the time. And if there's one streaming company that's definitely been giving us the best amount of stuff to watch at home during this thing, I think Prime Video has been doing it the best. Yeah, I'm sorry, Netflix. I know you are more popular, but come on. In my opinion, Prime Video is just more interesting. And what's even better is that if you aren't satisfied with everything that Prime has, they're going to give you extra subscriptions. You can get Prime Video as well as find a bunch of other channels with even more content. I mean, I know that requires more money to spend, but overall, I think it's worth it if you want to watch more. Because there's I think basically almost every movie and show that we all love is on Prime. Prime Video delivers us everything we need to watch. I think I remember back then Prime just kind of was a little, low, just trying to give us stuff that we think we're interested in, but we're really not. But nowadays, they know what I want, and they're going to give me what I want. They'll just throw us whatever we want, will get us through everything that is going on in the world. And in my opinion, it just delivers some of the best variety of content of any other service out there. Okay, so that was it. We are done with streaming services. Any other companies I should bring up? I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe there is something I want to talk about. Today? No, I'm done for today. We've already been through enough today. But maybe next time, I'll have something big to talk about. Even bigger, maybe, than what I'm talking about now. It could be big.